An alarm company was installing a security system at the victim's home on Cypress Street this afternoon. A totally understandable reaction after this. Around 10:30 Friday morning, the young mother of two was attacked by an intruder who did not care that she was unarmed and putting up no resistance, or that her little girl was in the room, watching her mother struggling with a stranger who kicked his way inside. During the assault, she made a conscious decision to take whatever the intruder dished out.
I knew that if I started screaming, my daughter would too, and I was afraid that she would get hurt. I took it. I didn't cry the entire time.
Nanny cam on the mantle captured the whole thing. Brutal punches and vicious kicks that sent her flying. At one point, he places her in a chokehold and slams her to the floor. Then he drags her away. You can hear the dread in her voice. "Oh no," she says, before he shoves her down the stairs. It is video that sickens everyone who sees it, veteran cops, and of course, the victim's husband.
I was in the room with about 7 officers, and we were all just speechless. It was like an out-of-body experience.
And yet, as hard as it is to watch, the couple say they want people to see it.
They need to help us get him off the streets. He's not just a burglar. He's violent.
Okay, folks, buckle up. I want to share with you some interesting and maybe surprising facts about burglaries and home break-ins, home invasions. Burglars tend to avoid homes with security systems. That makes sense. Most burglaries take place between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. They want to break in and steal your stuff while you're not home. The majority of break-ins are committed by burglars who live nearby. They're lazy. They don't want to travel. Most criminals can burglarize a home in less than 10 minutes. Almost 30% of burglars enter a home through an unlocked door or window. Guys, I hear that all the time. Make sure your doors are locked. I even had somebody that watched one of my videos say, hey, where we live, we don't even lock our doors. An astonishing 34% of burglars enter through the front door. They usually go to the master bedroom first, and the average property dollar loss is about $22.51. Here's the one that we all need to really be thinking about. Someone is home during nearly 3 out of 10 burglaries. That's 30%, guys. 7% of these victims experience some type of violent crime. And only 13.6% of these burglaries resulted in arrest in 2014. So chances are they're not going to catch them. Let's look at some more stats. This is from the FBI. It isn't just theft that happens during a home invasion. If a homeowner happens to be in the home at the time of the crime, there's a good chance that an assault will happen. Violent crime has direct links with home invasions. 38% of assaults that are reported to law enforcement officials happen during the events of a home invasion. The percentage of rapes that occur because of a home invasion incident, 60%. Over 2 million homes will experience a home invasion at some point in time in the United States. That means 20% of Americans will become a victim of this crime. That's staggering. It's possible to buy a set of bump keys for less than $20 online, and it'll unlock 90% of the doors in the United States without difficulty. No traditional lock is bump proof, but insurance companies will regularly deny claims because there's no proof of forced entry to prove a crime was committed. The estimated number of household burglaries that occur every year, 3.8 million. 7% of those result in some form of violent victimization. The most common type of home that experiences a home invasion is a mobile home. And it's not always strangers that commit these crimes. 65% of the time, these are people you know or they know you, and they're breaking into your house. You know, guys, on occasion, I'll get a comment or an email or a message from a viewer that asks me why I feel it necessary to carry a firearm with me in, let's say, a Walmart or a Home Depot. They want to know if they think I'm Rambo or who I think I am, that I'm out there running around with a weapon. Why would I need that? Where do you live where you would need a weapon to defend yourself? Oh yeah, they usually say that they're big Second Amendment proponents. They love the fact that we have the right to bear arms, yet they don't think it's a good idea for a law-abiding citizen to carry a weapon for self-defense in a public place, especially not open carry. Well, my response to them is this. I take responsibility for my own safety and for my family's safety. I don't rely on 911. I don't rely on the police. When seconds count, the police are only minutes away. It's up to you to protect yourself. And that is also in your home. I think a lot of us feel safe when we're at home. The door's locked. Nobody can get us there. The boogeyman's outside. Well, the reality of it is, and you've heard me talk about a lot of the stats, is that about 20% of us are going to be a victim of a burglary. And many of them may take place while somebody's at home. And a lot of bad stuff happens in those situations. Normally, if I'm upright, I have a firearm on me. If it's not on me when I'm at home, it's not far away. And it's real important that you have a family preparedness plan in the event something like this were to happen. Am I being paranoid? I don't think so. I don't obsess over having the gun. But I did take the time to develop a plan and discuss it with my family. In fact, we've even gone over it and did mock drills. It's not real comfortable to talk about, especially with younger kids, so use discretion. But it's important that you have an idea what you're going to do and what they're expected to do, everyone else in your household, in the event that you become a target for one of these crimes. Now, there may not be one particular right or wrong answer when it comes to a home invasion, home security plan. I want you to know how important it is to have a plan and to practice that plan. Let's face it, if given the choice, most of us are going to choose not to be a victim. But how many of us have actually taken the time to A, put together a plan, and B, practice it with our family? Now, there may not be clear-cut answers that are right or wrong. I would submit that each situation is going to be different. So you're going to need to make sure that you're flexible. But there are some things that are constant. Let's talk about that in a minute.
4 people are suspected of trying to break into a home in Richmond last week, and the moments before and after the attempt were caught on camera.
This security footage shows 2 suspects. They walk up to a home and knock on the door. Seconds later, the door opens and 2 other suspects run around the corner, one of them holding what appears to be a shotgun, the other a rifle. The person inside the home slams the door shut and the suspects take off. Police don't believe this was a random crime, but say the homeowner is cooperating with the investigation. Anyone who recognizes the suspects is asked to please call police.
Now, when faced with a nightmare situation where you're at home with your family and there's one or more individuals that decide they're going to break in and use force to take what you have, potentially ending your life in the process, there comes a point where it's fight or flight. And either answer may be correct depending on the situation. You need to think through the scenarios and come up with a game plan on what you're going to do in either situation. You need to think about the layout of your house, where other family members are sleeping or where they might be during this incident. You don't want to start firing off shots, have them pass through a wall, and you accidentally shoot one of your loved ones. As a side note, and with an attempt to bring a little levity to this subject, doesn't this house look like a prepper's house? I mean, look at all the stuff that they have packed away. Anyway, getting back to the seriousness of this. I can't think of anything scarier than being in the relative safety of your own home and having a group of thugs force their way in with the idea that they're going to take what they want, regardless of what that means to your personal safety. They're going to do what it takes. So it's up to you to do what it takes to stop them. Protect yourself, protect your family. Again, 911 is not going to help you in this situation. The police will show up to take pictures and maybe write a report. Maybe, if you're very unfortunate, draw a chalk outline around you. I don't want to be that victim. I don't want you to be that victim. In another minute or two, we're going to go through and show you my family's personal protection plan. I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Pastor Joe Fox. He did a video a while back on this subject, and I took some of what he said and implemented it into our plan. I'll put a link in the description below so you can go back and watch that video, give you a little more insight as to what you may want to add to your plan or how you might want to tailor it for your specific needs. Now, in the end of this video, you can see that these people were lucky. They were certainly outnumbered and outgunned. But these crooks, they don't want to fight. They want an easy victim. So just the mere fact this person had a firearm and pulled the trigger scared these people off. They didn't do everything right. It was pretty clear that they didn't have a plan because they're standing around, the door's still wide open because it was kicked off the hinges, and they have an unloaded weapon. So they were lucky. Now, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but I don't feel like flipping a coin on this one. All right, guys, so this is probably a pretty typical door in the United States. This door has 2 deadbolt locks. I would guess that most people have one on their front door. You can certainly go out and spend a lot of money on reinforced doors and different locking systems, but I'm going to talk to you about a way that just for a few pennies, really, I mean less than $2, you can make a huge difference in the security of your doors. And here it is. This is a typical hinge on a typical door. And you know those little brass screws that you get that come with the hinges? They're only about an inch long. And it's super easy to kick in a door with those small screws. Same thing over here when you're looking at your doorknob, the metal plate and the deadbolt plates. They come with those small, weak brass screws. Go down to your local hardware store and get longer screws. You're going to want to measure first to make sure you don't get something that's so long it's going to go through the window next to the door if you happen to have one. But the longer the better. And it's going to make a huge difference in the ability for somebody to kick in the door. I've seen videos where law enforcement have done demonstrations on this, and it literally stops them in their tracks. If somebody's very determined to get in your house, this isn't going to keep them out necessarily. But the more time that you have to react to the situation, the better. The better prepared you're going to be able to be, and you're not going to be a victim. Ethan, get out. Danger. Danger. Get out. Charlie, danger, danger, danger.
We have an emergency. There's a burglar at my house. My husband and I are armed. Please send help.
Guard the top. Put the weapon down! Put the weapon down! Stay down. Don't you move. Don't you move. All clear, all clear.